So we got Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 6, and in this chapter we got a whole lot of information that was talked about in this chapter. From the brilliance of Shikamaru with him understanding that his memories were altered from the Omnipotence Jutsu, to Mitsuki versus Boruto finally happening. Like chapter 5, chapter 6 takes a slower approach with the information that was presented here. The time skip obviously started with a bang with a whole lot of action, but past couple of chapters Kishimoto has started to slow things down to fill in the gaps and provide some very necessary information, and not only that, some hints of foreshadowing of what's to come for the future of this series. So let's start from the top. At the beginning of this chapter, Shikamaru is conversing with the two elders of the Hidden Leaf Village. I'm not gonna lie, with these two characters, I have no idea why they are still alive. They're part of Danzo's people, and I'm not gonna lie, if I was Kawaki or Momoshiki, these are the first two people I'm gonna kill if I'm gonna turn against the Leaf Village, because I have no idea why they are alive. But anyways, we've discovered that Shikamaru hasn't formally accepted the title of 8th Hokage. And because of this, the Land of Fire as well as the other villages are suffering because the Hokage position is very weak right now since there isn't a formal title yet. Not only that, the Land of Fire is very furious that Boruto is still alive and well and has not been eliminated yet, since he still presents a danger to the village. Anyways, we see Shikamaru back in his office where Ino comes to greet him, giving him the mission logs. And this is where Shikamaru tells Ino that she must do something very important without the knowledge of the rest of the Hidden Leaf Village, the Sensu unit, or even Ada. This is where they begin to speak to each other via mind transmission jutsu, and since nobody else can hear them, this is the only way that Shikamaru can go ahead with his plan. And we find out later in this chapter, he was able to connect to Boruto without anyone else knowing. Ada then informs Kawaki about the 10 Tails who have developed self-awareness and their goals, which includes killing Naruto. And as we all know, Kawaki's fixation on Naruto is so crazy that he is willing to kill anyone that stands in the way of him. And even after Ada tells Kawaki that she is also being targeted, Kawaki gives no damns about that. Kawaki seems to have no care about Ada in the world, since he realizes that Naruto's life is still at danger despite being sealed away in the Daikukoden dimension. And Damon brings up a really good point, as the only people that do know that Naruto is still alive is Boruto and Sasuke, outside of them of course. And Damon does say that if the 10 Tails do come to the Leaf Village trying to find Naruto, someone that has been affected by the Omnipotence, which is going to be most of the Hidden Leaf Village, will find out that Kawaki may have lied, that Naruto wasn't killed by Boruto, but is in fact still alive. If that is the case, maybe this is how we can unravel the effects of the Omnipotence. As stated in the past couple of chapters by Ada, you can't just undo the Omnipotence, but rather rewrite new memories onto the people that were affected. And as we've seen from characters like Amato and Shikamaru, as seen later in this chapter, these are characters that are starting to realize something is off. And as what we have heard from Amato last chapter, you need some sort of physical evidence to realize that something is off with the memories of the people that were affected. That's why Sasuke was willing to help out Boruto even though his memory was altered. Same thing goes for Amato when he realized something was off, and now Shikamaru understands that something is going on. Anyways, toward the middle of the chapter, we see the conversation with Boruto, Sarada, and Sumire. Boruto informs Sarada about what happened to Sasuke. I'm not really going to go too much into it because it's a lot of information that we already know of the past. Anyways, Kawaki does sense Boruto that his presence is inside the Leaf Village. And after realizing that, Mitsuki does alert Shikamaru that Boruto is hiding somewhere inside the village since Kawaki picked up his aura. However, Mitsuki does knock out Kawaki using his snake to make sure he is okay. And according to Mitsuki, he wants to protect Kawaki, so he does knock him out, saying that he isn't suited for pursuing Boruto. We all know Mitsuki has a fixation for Kawaki thanks to him being affected by the Omnipotence. Obviously it's for Boruto, however, since he was affected, he is now trying to protect Kawaki from Boruto, hence why Mitsuki is now trying to pursue Boruto in this chapter. Following Mitsuki's warning to Shikamaru that Boruto is inside the village, Shikamaru finally connects to Boruto using the mind transfer jutsu, where he does tell Boruto that he's about to have company. And this is where we see Mitsuki attack Boruto by wrapping a snake around him, and this is where we really get to see more of Boruto's dexterity as a shinobi, as despite being capacitated by the snake, he does somehow fling his sword out the way and use flying Raijin to teleport into safety. And we finally see Mitsuki confront Boruto for the first time in the time skip, and my man looks drippy as hell in his sage mode. The one thing I gotta say about Ikimoto man in this chapter, especially for the duration of the time skip so far, his art has been hitting. Nothing too crazy, I know a lot of people expect a lot more, but for what he is expected to do, he is getting better and better with when it comes to drawing the perspective shots and the angles of these characters. Mitsuki, when he sees Boruto, he is ready to throw down, and he doesn't care at all, and he is trying to kill Boruto by any means possible. So after a couple words of conversation, Mitsuki goes ahead and tries to kill Boruto right away using Snake Lightning Jutsu, but Boruto responds back by using Purple Lightning. Now this is insane because every chapter so far in the time skip, it seems like Boruto is showing off crazy jutsu after crazy jutsu, and it's getting insane at this point. We all know Boruto is him when it comes to being a shinobi. He knows all of these chakra niches, he knows all of these jutsus, but so far in the time skip, he is continuing to impress with the fact that he knows Purple Lightning. He may have already used it in the past couple of chapters when he first fought the divine trees, but this is the first panel that shows that Boruto knows Purple Lightning by, of course, the panel saying Purple Lightning, which indicates that he is using the jutsu. As he strikes down a bunch of Mitsuki snakes, Mitsuki then follows up by using Striking Shadow Snake Assault Jutsu, which forces Boruto to jump up into the sky from the AoE attack. And we see probably the coolest panel of the chapter, Boruto upside down in the sky, looking down at the damage below. I'm not gonna lie, Boruto's looking like an old Sasuke here. I understand physically he doesn't look like one, but he's starting to look like some Jigen, Ishiki, Momoshiki paneling right here. As every time an old Sasuke is shown in the past, whether it's Momoshiki, Ishiki, or even the Tensei's, right, they're shown in a panel like this overlooking the sky. It's sort of making Boruto look like some sort of a villain here, even though we all know he's the good guy in this story. Boruto tells Sarada as he begins to fly away, of course he has the old Sasuke powers, that he swears to rescue Sasuke and everyone else who was turned into trees, as well as someone else, which he doesn't say out loud, which I assume is Naruto. I don't think it would be anyone else but him. Obviously he wants to save his father, and he knows that he is still alive, and he knows that he is sealed away by Kawaki, and I'm not sure if Sarada knows that Naruto is sealed away. So anyways, as Boruto is flying out of the village, Shikamaru continues to converse with Boruto about what's going on and the current situation on hand. This is where I gotta give praise to Sarada. In chapter 4, when the evolved Tentails were introduced, Sarada tells Shikamaru that Boruto is somewhat innocent here. Even though Shikamaru knows by his memories that Boruto was the one who killed Naruto, Sarada says it would be beneficial if the Leaf Village sides with Boruto when it comes to this situation, especially when it comes to taking on Code. And in this conversation, Shikamaru tells Boruto that he can't physically help Boruto right away since Konoha is hellbent on eliminating him by any means necessary. And it's not just the village, but the entire land of fire is in agreement of this. And as Hokage, it wouldn't look right for Shikamaru to help Boruto out. He knows that he can't help him directly, but there are ways that he can aid Boruto, where he does tell Boruto that he realizes that Boruto is Boruto Uzumaki after all. And this is where the logs come in earlier in this chapter that he requested Ino to bring him, because of course, even though the Omnipotence Jutsu happened where everyone's memories were altered, physical evidence doesn't seem to have been changed. We saw this with Kawaki with this karma seal that was enacted by Amato, as even though the omnipotence occurred, according to Amato, the modified karma should be on Boruto, but it's still on Kawaki. And same thing goes for the mission logs, as even though the events of Boruto and Kawaki were swapped around, physical evidence like written down mission logs were probably not changed. Hence why Shikamaru understood that maybe Boruto and Kawaki's positions were flipped, which is what he tells Boruto. And now Shikamaru wants to confirm to Boruto that this is the case, even though his memory is having trouble accepting that this is true because his memory was altered. And he even brings up Amato, since he understands that Amato was the first one to point out that Shikamaru thought this was cap, but with the evidence that was shown for the mission logs, this confirmed it. However, Shikamaru still is suspect of it, so he asked Boruto to confirm this and tell him the truth. However, before he could do this, Mitsuki comes ahead and tries to attack Boruto once again, and this is where we leave off for Boruto chapter 6. And I gotta say, this is another great chapter from Kishimoto. The writing is getting better and better, I'm not gonna lie. So far it's 6 for 6, I can't say there hasn't been a miss yet. I'm loving the time skip so far, I'm not gonna hold you. Planting these little seeds in chapters like this where it may not seem that important, but throwing things like physical evidence where smarter characters are starting to catch on, potential hints of some characters understanding that their memories are unaffected, as well as people may have a chance to find out that Kawaki may have lied that Naruto was killed, which could change the graces of Kawaki standing inside Konoha, is potential foreshadowing of what's going to happen. But the chapter leaves off with Boruto versus Mitsuki Mitsuki. With how angry Mitsuki is right now, he got that demon look on him. He's gonna bring hell onto Boruto. So let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. How do you guys feel about Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 6? What are your thoughts on Shikamaru's brilliance IQ, discovering that his memories were altered? How would you feel if Kawaki was exposed as a fraud for lying that Naruto was killed by Boruto? And finally, tell me, who do you think will win in this upcoming chapter for chapter 7 between Boruto versus Mitsuki? Let me know how you guys feel about all of that in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.